Hello students, welcome to this class. Till now we discussed the components in VCR system, that is refrigerant compressors, condensers, isn't it? Another important device is an expansion device in this VCR system. Expansion device is used to decrease the pressure from the condenser to evaporator, and also it controls the rate of flow rate in the system. Clear? In this class, I'm going to discuss the classifications of different expansion devices and their function, their working. Okay. So in this expansion device, this expansion devices is under unit 3, which is under part 3. Expansion devices are mainly used to reduce the pressure and maintain the pressure difference between condenser and evaporator. And also it is used to control the refrigerant flow rate in the system. That's why this device is also called refrigerant control valve. So introduction, let us go for the introduction. The expansion device is also known as metering device. That is, metering device as control device or throttling device is an important device that divides the high pressure side and the low pressure side of a refrigerating system. Okay. It is located between the condenser and evaporator. It is connected between the receiver, that is the receiver containing the liquid refrigerant higher pressure, and the evaporator containing the liquid refrigerant lower pressure. So high pressure and low pressure, the device is divides the high pressure and low pressure side. The expansion device performs the following functions. These are the functions will be done by the expansion devices. It reduces the high pressure liquid refrigerant to low pressure liquid refrigerant before being fed to the evaporator. So before going to the evaporator, the liquid refrigerant reduces its pressure from high pressure to low pressure by using this expansion device. It maintains the desired pressure difference between the high and low pressure sides, and also it maintains the pressure difference between those two. And it controls the flow of refrigerant according to the load of evaporator. Based on the evaporator load, it will be allows the liquid refrigerant towards the evaporator. That's why it is also called the refrigerant control valve in this system. Okay. These are the subject point of view. There are 6 types of expansion devices are very important. These are the capillary tube, hand-operated expansion valve, automatic or constant pressure expansion valve. It is also called the automatic expansion valve, thermostatic expansion valve. This 4th one, thermostatic expansion valve, is also called the constant superheat valve. 5th is low side float valve, and 6th one is high side float valve. Based on that location of the valve on low side or high side, that is low pressure side or high pressure side, these are called the low side float valve and high side float valve. These are the 6 important expansion devices in the subject point of view. Let us go for the capillary tube. It is used in small capacity systems, which is a small diameter and long length copper tube in which the pressure will be drops due to friction. Based on the Darcy-Weisbach equation, the friction drop or pressure drop in the small diameter pipe is proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the diameter of the pipe. This is the capillary tube, which is used in domestic refrigerator and domestic air conditioners. Here, what is going on there? Capillary tube, liquid refrigerant in from condenser. Condenser and liquid refrigerant that will be entered into the strainer, which is filter. The filter which will be located in front of the capillary tube, because capillary tube having the less diameter, that is a very less diameter. To avoid the obstacle in the pipe, you have to locate the strainer before the capillary tube. The strainer will be located. The strainer, function of strainer is to eliminate the foreign material from the refrigerant. Okay. After strainer, the refrigerant will be entered. Liquid refrigerant will be entered into this coil. This is called the capillary tube, which is having a very less diameter and a very large length. During flow of refrigerant through this capillary tube, the pressure will be drops due to friction. After reduction in the pressure, the low pressure refrigerant will be entered into the evaporator coil. Clear? This is the capillary tube or copper tube. The capillary tube as shown in figure is used an expansion device in small capacity hermetic sealed refrigeration units such as in domestic refrigerators, water coolers, room air conditioners and freezers. All these refrigeration systems are used to capillary tube as an expansion device. It is a copper tube of small internal diameter and of a very varying length depending upon the application. The length is varied based on the applications to require reduce the pressure. The inside diameter of the tube, used in refrigeration works is generally about 0.5 mm to 2.25 mm, very less diameter, 0.5 mm to 2.25 mm, and length is wide, varies from 0.5 meters to 5 meters. It is in meters, it is in millimeters. It's very less diameter and very long length. It is installed in liquid line between the condenser and evaporator. Between the condenser and evaporator, it will be installed. A fine mesh screen provided. This is a fine mesh screen that is called the strainer, provided at the inlet of the tube in order to protect it from the contaminants. Is there any contaminants are there in the refrigerant that will be eliminated in the strainer? It is a fine mesh screen before entering into the capillary tube. A small filter dryer is used on some systems to provide additional freeze up applications. A small filter dryers are used before the capillary tube to provide additional freeze up applications. Extra freezing is required in the refrigeration systems that will be blocked in the capillary tube to avoid that that is to avoid the obstruction in the capillary tube. You have to use the filter dryers in before the capillary tube. Is the about the capillary tube. In its operation, the liquid refrigerant from the condenser enters the capillary tube. Due to frictional resistance offered by a small diameter tube, the pressure drops. Since the frictional resistance is directly proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the diameter, because we know that the Darcy-Weisbach equation is head loss due to friction in fluid mechanics is equal to 4FLV square by 2GD. 4FLV square by 2GD. This is the equation, Darcy-Weisbach equation to calculate the head loss due to friction. So head loss means is the pressure drop due to friction is mainly depends on the length and the diameter. Yeah, a long length, it is directly proportional to the length and it is inversely proportional to the diameter. If the diameter is very less, the head loss due to friction is very high. Clear? Therefore, longer the capillary tube and smaller its diameter, greater its pressure drop. ఎక్కువ length and the small diameter use చేసిన pipe లో ఎక్కువ pressure drop జరుగుతుంది created in the refrigerant flow. In other words, greater pressure difference between the condenser and evaporator, high side and low side, is needed for a given flow rate of the refrigerant. The diameter and the length of the capillary tube, once selected for a given set of conditions and load, cannot operate effectively in other conditions. Once we design the capillary tube for particular load conditions, we cannot use that capillary tube for other conditions. Clear? That is the inflexibility in use of capillary tube. So that flexibility is not there in the capillary tube. It is only for the design system. It can be used for only designed system. The refrigeration system using capillary tube having the following advantages. These are the advantages of capillary tube. The cost of capillary tube is less than the other forms of expansion devices. It is a simple copper tube. The cost is very less when compared to the other expansion devices. When the compressor stops, the refrigerant continues to flow the evaporator. There is no provision to obstruct the refrigerant from the condenser to evaporator, isn't it? Continuously, whenever the compressor stops, even compressor stops, the refrigerant continues to flow to the evaporator to equalize the pressure between the condenser and evaporator. Whenever they equalize the pressure between the condenser and evaporator, the load on the compressor will be decreases. So low torque is required during the next cycle of starting. So when the compressor stops, the refrigerant continues to flow into the evaporator and equalizes the pressure between the high side and low side system. This considerably decreases the starting load of the compressor. Thus, the low starting torque motor can be used to drive the compressor, which is greater advantage. ఏం జరుగుతుంది అంటే ఎప్పుడైతే కండెన్సర్ అండ్ ఎవాపరేటర్ ప్రెషర్ ఈక్వలైజ్ అవుతుందో కంప్రెసర్ మీద లోడ్ తగ్గిపోతుంది. అంటే నెక్స్ట్ సైకిల్లో అది స్టార్ట్ అయినప్పుడు ఆన్ ఆఫ్ కండిషన్లో ఆన్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు స్టార్టింగ్ టార్క్ అనేది చాలా తక్కువగా ఉంటుంది. సో దట్ విల్ బి ద అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఆఫ్ capillary tube. Since the refrigerant change in capillary tube, charge in capillary tube system is critical, therefore no receiver is necessary. This means always the flow in the capillary tube occurs during the on conditions. Okay, that's why there is no extra device which is storage device is necessary for the capillary tube. There is no receiver is necessary in the capillary tube. Clear? So these are the advantages of capillary tube, and its simple design is capillary tube already discussed. It's very simple device to decrease the pressure based on the Darcy-Weisbach formula. So next one is the hand operated expansion valve. The name itself represents it requires a operator to operate it. Manually it is operating. It is not automatically controls. It is the device. It is having the hand wheel, valve seat, valve stem, that is a packing nut, package, and a needle valve. This is the needle valve and a valve seat. It is a opening and closing valve seat. Liquid refrigerant in, that will be entered into the liquid refrigerant out. The liquid refrigerant with the condenser in and liquid refrigerant passing to the evaporator. Whenever the liquid refrigerant enters from condenser to evaporator, it passes through the valve seat. The valve seat will be closed open by the needle valve. That will be operated by the hand wheel. Okay. When the hand wheel opens the needle valve, that is a valve seat, the refrigerant will be entered towards the evaporator side from condenser. Now, the hand operated expansion valve is the most simple type of expansion valve, but it requires an operator to regulate the flow of refrigerant to the evaporator manually. This rotate చేస్తూ ఉండాలి manual గా. rotate చేసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ valve open close అవుతుంది. ఓపెన్ అయినప్పుడు refrigerant ఈ valve నుండి this valve seat అన్నాం కదా, ఇక్కడ valve seat అనేది it is act as a orifice meter, orifice valve. Through that orifice meter, the refrigerant enters to the low pressure side. During this flow of refrigerant through the orifice, the pressure will be decreases in the orifice. Okay. The conical shaped needle valve extend down in the valve port and restrict the flow area to the port. When closed, the valve rests on its conical seat. The use of hand operated valve is limited to systems operating under near constant loads for long periods of time. ఇది ఎప్పుడు యూజ్ చేస్తాం? ఒక సిస్టమ్ అనేది లాంగ్ పీరియడ్ లో ఒకే కాన్స్టెంట్ లోడ్ దగ్గర వర్క్ అవుతే ఒకసారి ఇది రొటేట్ చేసి వదిలేస్తే కంటిన్యూస్లీ ద అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ రిఫ్రిజరెంట్ విల్ బి ఎంటర్డ్ ఇన్ టు ద same amount of refrigerant will be entered into the evaporator side. So long period lo oke load lo operate ayinappudu this valve is very useful. So constant load for long period of time, such as in ice making plants and cold storages. These are the for examples to operate a long period for constant loads. It is not suitable for installations where the load varies and the compressor runs intermittently to maintain the constant temperature. ఎప్పుడైతే కంప్రెసర్ ఆన్ ఆఫ్ కండిషన్స్ లో ఉంటుందో, లోడ్ వేరీ అవుతుందో, ఇట్ కెనాట్ బి యూజ్డ్. కాన్స్టెంట్ టెంపరేచర్ మెయింటైన్ చేయడానికి ఇది మనకు పనికిరాదు. ఓకేనా? హ్యాండ్ ఆపరేటెడ్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ వాల్వ్ ఇస్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ కాన్స్టెంట్ లోడ్ ఎట్ లాంగ్ పీరియడ్స్ అండ్ ఇట్ రిక్వైర్స్ ఆపరేటర్ కావాలి దీనికి, ఇది ఆపరేటర్ రొటేట్ చేయడానికి. ఓకే, క్లియర్? ఇది హార్ఫీస్ మీటర్ లో ప్రెషర్ డ్రాప్ వల్ల ఇది ఆపరేట్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. క్లియర్? దిస్ ఇస్ ద హ్యాండ్ ఆపరేటెడ్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ వాల్వ్. Next, third one is the automatic or constant pressure expansion valve. It doesn't require any operator. It operates automatically as the load condition, based on the load conditions on the operator. The automatic expansion valve, sorry, observe change diagram ni. A liquid refrigerant strainer, that is a filter nundi dilloki enter avutundi. Bottom of the expansion valve ki enter avutundi. The entire refrigerant will be entered into the evaporator side through this valve seat. This valve seat will be open or closed by this valve. Okay, this valve will be closed, the valve seat, based on the spring force. This spring force is adjusted by an adjusting screw. Clear? Clear? The evaporator side, this is connected to the evaporator. Based on the evaporator pressure, the pressure acting on the diaphragm. This is the diaphragm. a thin diaphragm on which the valve will be maintained. Clear? Whenever the evaporator pressure increases, the pressure acting in the diaphragm upward direction, the diaphragm moves upwards. Whenever the diaphragm moves upwards, the valve will be closes. Okay, when the diaphragm moves downwards because of spring force, the valve will be closes because the valve will move downwards and upward direction to close open the valves. Okay, this is a spring pressure, diaphragm, evaporator pressure downward and upward direction, spring pressure downward direction act outundi. The spring pressure depends on the can be varied by the adjusting screw. That will be depends on the required evaporator pressure. మనకి ఎక్కువ ప్రెషర్ కావాలి అనుకోండి ఎవాపరేటర్ ప్రెషర్ ఎక్కువ ప్రెషర్ కావాలి అనుకుంటే ఎవాపరేటర్ ప్రెషర్ ఎక్కువగా యాక్ట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి డయాఫ్రమ్ పైకి మూవ్ అవుతుంది. డయాఫ్రమ్ పైకి మూవ్ అవ్వకుండా ఉండాలంటే స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ ఎక్కువ యాక్ట్ అవ్వాలి. స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ ఎక్కువ యాక్ట్ అవ్వాలంటే అడ్జస్టింగ్ స్క్రూ యూజ్ చేసి స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ మనం అడ్జస్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో బేస్డ్ ఆన్ దట్ ఎవాపరేటర్ ఆపరేట్స్. అండ్ ఎవాపరేటర్ మనకి ప్రెషర్ తక్కువ కావాలి అనుకోండి, అంటే ఎవాపరేటర్ ప్రెషర్ తక్కువగా ఉంటే డయాఫ్రమ్ కిందికి మూవ్ అవుతుంది. కిందికి మూవ్ అయినప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఇది ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది. సో ఇది ఓపెన్ అవ్వకుండా ఉండాలంటే స్ప్రింగ్ అడ్జస్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి. స్ప్రింగ్ అడ్జస్ట్ చేసుకున్నప్పుడు ఇది కిందికి మూవ్ అవ్వకుండా ఉండాలంటే స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ పైకి యాక్ట్ అవ్వాలి. సో స్ప్రింగ్ ఫోర్స్ పైకి యాక్ట్ అవ్వాలి అంటే ఇది అడ్జస్టింగ్ స్క్రూ యూజ్ చేసుకుని దాని ఫోర్స్ మనం అడ్జస్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. లైక్ దట్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద ఎవాపరేటర్ ప్రెషర్ we can adjust the adjusting screw. Let us go for the theory. The automatic expansion valve is also known as constant pressure expansion valve. అంటే based on the pressure in the evaporator. Evaporator లో constant pressure maintain చేయడం వరకు ఈ valve ఆపరేట్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. Because it maintains a constant evaporator pressure regardless of load on the evaporator. దాని మీద ఎంత లోడ్ అయినా అనేది దానిలో ప్రెజర్ కాన్స్టెంట్ గా మెయింటైన్ చేయడం వరకు ఈ వాల్వ్ యూజ్ చేసుకుంటాం. ఇట్స్ మెయిన్ moving force is the evaporator pressure. Evaporator pressure moving force outundi. It is used with dry expansion evaporator where the load is relatively constant. The automatic expansion valve consists of needle valve. This is the needle valve and a seat. This is the seat which forms an orifice. Orifice opening and form outundi. A metallic diaphragm or bellows, spring and adjusting screw. The opening and closing of the valve with respect to the seat depends upon the following two opposite force acting. The opening, closing and dealing the depend on the forces depend on. Okay. The spring pressure or and automatic pressure acting on the top of the diaphragm. Spring pressure diaphragm act out. Evaporator pressure acting below the diaphragm. Based on these two pressure, balancing of these two pressure will be opens and close the valve. Okay. When the compressor is running, the valve maintains the evaporator pressure in equilibrium with the spring pressure and the automatic atmospheric pressure. The spring pressure can be varied by adjusting the tension of the spring with the help of spring adjusting screw. Once the spring is adjusted for a desired evaporator pressure, then the valve operates automatically to maintain the constant evaporator pressure by controlling the flow of refrigerant to the evaporator. When the evaporator pressure falls down, ఒకవేళ evaporator లో pressure drop అవుతే evaporator pressure decrease అవుతుంది కాబట్టి diaphragm కిందికి మూవ్ అవుతుంది. Diaphragm కిందికి మూవ్ అయినప్పుడు ఈ valve ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది. Valve ఓపెన్ అవ్వడం వల్ల high amount of liquid refrigerant entered to the evaporator from the condenser side. ఎక్కువ అమౌంట్ ఎవాపరేటర్ లోకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు అగైన్ ప్రెషర్ విల్ బి ఇంక్రీజెస్. ఎవాపరేటర్ ప్రెషర్ ఇంక్రీజ్. ఎవాపరేటర్ ప్రెషర్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయినప్పుడు డయాఫ్రమ్ పైకి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. వెన్ ద ఎవాపరేటర్ ప్రెషర్ ఇంక్రీజెస్ దట్ విల్ బి అప్లైడ్ ఆన్ ద బాటమ్ ఆఫ్ ద డయాఫ్రమ్. When the evaporator pressure is high, the diaphragm moves upward direction. Whenever the diaphragm moves upward direction, this valve will be closes. Okay, that will be stops the refrigerant to flow across the evaporator. Like this. Evaporator pressure ఎక్కువ అవుతే డయాఫ్రమ్ పైకి మూవ్ అవుతుంది. ఎవాపరేటర్ ప్రెషర్ డిక్రీజ్ అవుతే ఈ వాల్వ్ అనేది కిందికి మూవ్ అయ్యి ఎక్కువ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ రిఫ్రిజరెంట్ ఎంటర్ అయ్యి అగైన్ ద ప్రెషర్ ఇన్ ద ఎవాపరేటర్ మెయింటైన్స్ ఇట్ కాన్స్టెంట్. ఓకేనా. When the evaporator falls down, the diaphragm moves downwards to open the valve. This allows more liquid refrigerant to enter into the evaporator and thus increase the evaporator pressure till the desired evaporator pressure is reached. On the other hand, when the evaporator pressure rises, when the pressure rises out there, the diaphragm moves upwards to reduce the opening of the valve. This decreases the flow of liquid refrigerant to the evaporator, which in turn lowers the evaporator pressure till desired pressure reached. అలా డిజైర్డ్ ప్రెషర్ రీచ్ అయ్యేంత వరకు ఓపెన్ క్లోజ్ అవుతూ కాన్స్టెంట్ ప్రెషర్ మెయింటైన్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. క్లియర్? వెన్ ద కంప్రెసర్ స్టాప్స్, ఎప్పుడైతే కంప్రెసర్ స్టాప్ అవుతుందో ఆఫ్ కండిషన్స్ లో ద లిక్విడ్ రిఫ్రిజరెంట్ కంటిన్యూస్ టు ఫ్లో ఇన్ టు ద ఎవాపరేటర్ అండ్ ఇంక్రీజెస్ ద ప్రెషర్ ఇన్ ద ఎవాపరేటర్. This increases the pressure, causes the diaphragm to move upward in the valve is closed. ఎప్పుడైతే కంప్రెసర్ ఆఫ్ కండిషన్ లో ఉన్నా కూడా ఈ రిఫ్రిజరెంట్ ఎవాపరేటర్ లోకి మూవ్ అయినప్పుడు ఈ ప్రెషర్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయ్యి ఇది అప్వర్డ్ డైరెక్షన్ లో మూవ్ అవుతుంది. అప్వర్డ్ డైరెక్షన్ లో మూవ్ అయినప్పుడు అంటే ఎవాపరేటర్ ఒకసారి కంప్రెసర్ కనెక్ట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి కంప్రెసర్ ఆఫ్ కండిషన్ ఏమవుతుంది, కంప్రెసర్ డస్ నాట్ టేక్ ఎనీ refrigerant from the evaporator. So therefore the refrigerant which will be accumulated in the evaporator, the accumulated refrigerant వల్ల pressure increase అయ్యి diaphragm పైకి మూవ్ అయ్యి it will be closes. అంటే refrigerant ఎంటర్ అవ్వడం ఆగిపోతుంది. Clear? This increases the pressure, causes the diaphragm to upwards and valve will closed. It remains closed until the compressor starts. మళ్ళీ compressor start అయ్యేంత వరకు అది closed condition లోనే ఉంది. Again, and reduces the pressure in the evaporator. This is the diagram evaporator pressure versus time. So whenever the compressor is in off condition, compressor off condition లో ఉంటే pressure అనేది evaporator pressure increase అవుతుంది. evaporator pressure increase అయినప్పుడు diaphragm upward move అవుతుంది. upward move అయినప్పుడు valve అనేది close అవుతుంది. So whenever the valve closes, the refrigerant entered into the evaporator will be stops. So whenever the refrigerant stops, that will be decreases pressure decreases in on condition. Compressor sucks the refrigerant from the evaporator during the on condition. Again, the evaporator pressure decreases, which will be maintained constant in on condition. Again, whenever the compressor in off condition, the evaporator pressure increases again. Like this, the on-off condition of compressor, the evaporator pressures maintained like this. So in on condition, the pressure maintains is constant in the evaporator. Clear? So like this, the automatic expansion valve will be operated based on the evaporator pressure. Clear? Another three types of expansion devices are there. Thermostatic expansion valve, low side float valve, high side float valve. I will explain these three expansion devices in the next class. I'm closing this class at this time. Bye students, have a nice day.